boy. Al, something
Yeah.
I want to ask you, and I think today is the appropriate time.
What is it, Ken?
You believe in Santa Claus.
Well, Ken, every year I hang my stocking in the fireplace.
And what happens?
It burns. Of course, when I was a kid, I used to write Santa Claus and ask him for, so many things. How times have changed. Now Santa Claus writes to me.
Well, you do believe in it.
Well, Ken, let me tell you a little story.
Fine.
Last night I was at home waiting for Oscar to come over and spend Christmas Eve with me, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I was sitting in front of the fireplace, thinking back over my life.
That took you more than one evening, didn't it?
No, I skipped the part that Larry Parks played. Anyway, while I was sitting there, I heard a sudden noise in the fireplace. And a weird-looking Santa Claus stepped in the room. He didn't look as much like Santa Claus as he did like Boris Karloff.
Hello, little man.
Who are you?
I'm jolly old Saint Nick. Fee, fi, fo, fa, I mean ho, ho, ho.
If he keeps laughing like that, he'll split his sides.
Have you been a good boy, Asa?
Yes, I was a good boy, and I was a good middle-aged man, too. But lately I've been slipping a little.
Nevertheless, you're still on Santa's list. I'm a little late this Christmas Eve. I was delayed. One of my reindeers slipped and fell.
What did you do?
I ate him.
I can't believe you're Santa Claus. I didn't hear any jingle bells.
My bells don't jingle. They just toll.
It's getting a little chilly in here. Would you mind throwing a log on the fire and hanging on to it?
Now, don't be afraid. I am Santa Claus.
No, you're not. You're Boris Karloff.
Ah, shucks. Everybody recognizes me. Must be my long eyelashes.
But, Boris, why are you in a Santa Claus suit?
I want to be loved.
Well, you're in the wrong place. You better go over to the bride and groom program.
You don't know what a terrible life I lead. Playing all those sinister characters has made me a marked man. When little children see me, they run and scream. That's why I put on this suit and pretend I'm Santa Claus.
And what do the kids do now?
Run and scream?
I'll do just the opposite. I'll scream and run.
But why? I'm nice and gentle. Why must I be the victim of the parts I play in pictures? Can I help it? My business is killing. Yours is singing. I see no difference.
I'd insult this guy, but he might give me a stiletto for Christmas. And deliver it in the back. Boris, look, if you're going around pretending you're Santa Claus, you can't act the way you do. Santa Claus is a sweet old gentleman. He's good. And he's kind.
I'm trying to be a real Santa Claus. I give away presents. In fact, right now I'm due at Peter Lorry's house. He asked for a train.
A grown man like Peter Lorry wants a little bitty train?
No, he asked for the super chief. He wants to tie someone to the tracks.
Say, look, if you got Peter Lorry's letter, did you happen to get the one I wrote, Santa Claus?
Oh, yes, I received your letter.
You did? And did you bring what I asked for?
Sure, here it is. An autographed picture of Al Jolson. Tell me, why did you ask for a picture of yourself?
I like to look at me.
You're lucky. I even have to shave in the dark. Well, I must leave. I've got a few more stops to give away some of your record albums.
Oh, do you give a lot of people my record albums?
No, only to little boys who've been naughty. Oh, how it frightens them so.
Well, look, if you'll excuse me, Santa Claus, I gotta go to bed now. I gotta get my sleep, you see. I'm on the Kraft Music Hall.
Are you sure you'll be able to appear?
Oh, of course. There's nothing to stop me.
Maybe there is. One must never be too sure of anything. I believe there was a knock at the door.
I thought it was my niece. Oh, hello, Oscar. Gee, I'm glad to see you come in. Santa Claus, this is Oscar Levant.
How do you do?
Oscar, why don't you say hello to Santa Claus?
Sorry, I don't believe in him.
Well, to tell the truth, in this case, I don't blame you. I was sitting here smoking, and suddenly he appeared.
You better change your brand of cigarettes.
Oscar, look, you don't understand. I was just sitting here in front of the fireplace when suddenly I was face to face with Boris Karloff.
Frankenstein meets the Wolfman.
Gentlemen, please, I do so want to be friendly. Would you like a Tom and Jerry? I made them myself.
What are they made of?
A couple of fellas named Tom and Jerry. Now, Mr. Levant, I'd like you to believe in me, so here's a little present. A bottle of fine champagne.
But it's got a skull and crossbones on the label.
Probably a picture of the manufacturer.
Please, Boris, if you're going to play Santa Claus, why don't you visit some of the fellows who'll be expecting you, like Sidney Greenstreet or Bela Lugosi, huh?
I visit both for good and evil, and you're certainly good and evil.
I'm beginning to like this guy. He's my type.
Thank you, Mr. Levant. Your appreciation of the macabre and your intelligent acceptance of the supernatural from the realm of mesmerism and hyperphysical occurrences is gratifying. I think we understand each other.
That's good, because I don't understand either one of you.
Boris, I think you and I will get along okay. Have a cigarette.
I prefer when I'm smoking.
What are you smoking?
F.E. Boone.
Well, that is what I like, a real Merry Christmas.
Now, Mr. Levant, I've got something for you. I've heard you play the piano hundreds of times, so here is a violin. Merry Christmas, gentlemen, and goodbye.
And Ken, believe it or not, that's exactly what happened on Christmas Eve.
Oh, but Al, that story is a little unbelievable. You must have been dreaming.
If you don't believe me, ask Oscar.
Oscar, did all that stuff really happen to you and Al? No, it didn't, Ken. It's a ridiculous story. Well, I gotta go now.
Where you going, Oscar?
I have to practice my violin.